Hello, it's working. Yay. Okay. That was kind of neat. I think I logged in a minute or so prior to the scheduled live, and it was like, nope, not working. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll have to record this and not do this live. So upon the third attempt, 3 times, it is now working. So thank you. Welcome. I'm Josi, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to some support, some where you can curl up with a tea, potentially pull out some tarot, pull out some cards, and bring in some questions if you're so guided to, in seeing what is being guided to share today. I'm already receiving a lot, and I've even covered my head. So I apologize if I'm kind of feel like I'm all over, but I'm going live definitely in the energy that is being shared right now, meaning the energy that is in or on these devices, with the amount of people tuning in to conversations, discussions, connections. It's quite incredible to be tapped into that at this moment in time. So yay, welcome. May you take some breaths as we arrive. And as you breathe, allowing yourself to really check in if even the sound of my voice this evening or today or whenever you are tapping into this video, be it not in the live, if it's something that is necessary to connect to at this point in time. I love to connect with you. I adore what I share. But sometimes we just might have reached a limit of taking information in. So allow yourself to choose, and never to feel pressured in stepping in for spiritual insight or further channel. Yeah. And I welcome into my work. I work with other teachers. I work with healers. I work with those that carry gifts in connecting to many different realms, many wondrous beings and teachers that share some good trouble and some good information to support what we are shifting on these planes. And so trust that if you come across my work, you probably have some gifts, because I'm a bit out there, right? There are times when I have shared I am an oracle, a seer, a medium, a channel. We even just think of all the different ways that we have divided or orchestrated a whole different bunch of things that are actually all about just being in communication, being in connection with beings that may not be in form, ones that we have buried, ones that may have been in form on this planet, and some that may not have been ever. Have never had this experience and are curious or in what they can learn from us walking on these planes. So if you carry a gift, and maybe then can we just say you probably do, yeah, because we all humans carry the capacity to expand consciousness, to expand awareness into multiple realms, and understand that energy, right? There's energy in the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. There's subtle that continues. So clearly then, instead of us going, if we carry gifts, or maybe do I, let's just maybe honor that, like, humans do carry gift and capacity to access information, to access sometimes what may be thought of as memory. Whew, I'm sorry, as I'm sharing this information, I'm kind of like realizing, I'm like, holy crap, like I'm already sharing information. Do you see how in receiving these wondrous connections, there are times then almost like where our humanness kind of catches up with what we are actually relaying, and going, holy crap, uh, and we need to take a step. And so trust that the rhythms of your processing of things right now, um, are in multiple timelines, kind of all at once. And what this means is that, what you may have worked on in your physical body, let's say, in healing or in caring or connecting to your physical body, that work could have been like 3 years ago. Okay. And then potentially you start to work on something within a mental plane that is linked to that thing within the physical. And that may have actually commenced at another time. And then potentially you also then opened to something within the emotional, sensational experience of us, right? And that may then start to, do you see? So right now, if you are in a state of cacophony, take a deep breath. Know that it's okay. That's what is. That is what is right now on this plane, because multiple things that have been initiated, instigated, and begun at different times in our lifetimes. Okay, at different times, are kind of feeling like they're all colliding now. They're all coming in. And some I'm getting are almost, some of you might be feeling that then they're coming in a very choppy way, like almost like fragments of memory or fragments of sight. It might feel very discombobulating. And so, whew, and I even have to go forwards, right? Because then they're like, and then that's just what you've done. So then can you imagine, like, all those different workings and unravelings and healings and growings and shadowings and all the workings that we have done on an individual level over multiple times are starting now to kind of sync up. And then that is like multiplied by how many humans, right? How many people are sharing this plane, are sharing life at this time. My dog says hi. He's like, hey, remember. And then it's like, yeah, on top of all the humans, there's all these other movements. There's all these incredible other living beings that are sharing and moving in this cacophony of things that are starting to almost feel that they might be jumbling, and the jumbling is actually an okay thing. It's not to kind of like freak out by that, because We are, just think if there is multiple fragments and multiple fragments of self over time, over times, multiple fragments that have been scattered, and slowly, right? I found a little one. I found another piece. And it's just then it's like going, hey, this is like we're close to the whole. We're close to the whole. WHOLE, but maybe it's also HOLE. Close to a point of completion of a very large discombobulating cycle to prepare us to see it in amplification of what has been explored and experienced potentially like over a decade in your own life, over 4 years in your own life, in 30 years of working in your own life, in 50 years, who knows, right? It's like in our life as we work through our own shadowings, our own shiftings, our own desires for change, our own desires for life, for safety, for a further capacity to carry the cacophony of the human experience. Yeah. We're starting to take that in, of realizing this is all this stuff that has been popping up and stepping up and blowing up, all the things, all the polarizations that have been, that commenced. Now these, just know, and I always like, okay, it's funny because I kind of want to say something about going like, I shared this stuff since 2022 or 2021, but who gives a shit about that? Really, at the end of the day, you're listening to this now. And it always kind of bugged me when people were like, I've been sharing this, but yes, okay, oracles, seers, we tend to receive sometimes information prior to it kind of actually surfacing in the collective, and that's not so that we can just sit here and go, I told you so. It's because there's so much then that actually is, whoever receives those messages at whatever time, right? Whatever time they've received it, be it 3 years ago, be it 10 years ago, right? The messages are actually quite similar. So they might not even have been from me. They could have been from someone else. And those messages, right, kind of, they're sharing this like they gave little blips for you to potentially start certain unraveling processes, to prepare, so that even though if you feel I am unprepared for this present experience, I am incapable of moving through all the things. I can feel it. To take some big breaths. To let yourself feel that shit. Irritation, the stomping of the feet, the tears, all of it. Feelings are good. All of them. And then, as we continue to feel, as we continue to explore what's erupting in us, as even I literally may be speaking or sharing these sounds, that if you're feeling some discomfort right now in the world, we are prepared. You are capable. If you are listening to this and watching this in a place of the world that we carry privilege, that we have a house that is safe, or a space that is safe, that we feel okay in our body, amidst the irregular aches and pains. That we are prepared. We are prepared for this focus of what is propelling us forwards now. And with that, you're like, oh, I needed a bit of an introduction before I even pulled the first card. I thank you for dealing with that. I've never just like connected right away. I think I was channeling even like right before like probably the half hour even before this session. It was just starting to flow. There's a lot of excitement. I tend to be sometimes a reluctant teacher and stepping in really like the big chaotic points, because I don't want to kind of add further chaos into that. It's just part of my own learning. And yeah, so bear with me as this is an experience, and I thank you for joining me with it. And may you, as I may, pull cards, please trust, if you carry cards, or divination practices, like, pull with me, and you can share even after this, even on replay, what you may have received to share in addition to my message, right? So to trust that. And I think that's the first thing that really wishes to be shared. Even before I share message, they're like, hey, like, disclaimer, realizing that the message that is shared through, okay, as much now this is kind of what keeps me sane, is that as much as I may be able to connect with as many wondrous teachers, as many guides, guardians, and protectors of this planet that have been defined or divined in different realms as things, different things. The beauty in us receiving message is that there is protection within that message to ensure that it is somewhat incomplete. Message in whole, right? And where we're going to, where we're getting to, of like, as I shared, the gathering of kind of all the fractalizations of self, and know that like what I share of self, right, can be also applied and attributed to a macro concept, however large you wish to go. But the larger that I go, do you see, then it takes me just longer to share the message. So I tend to tap in first on micro, and allow slowly that connection to expand. So what they wish to share is that if you think you are the next, prophet, the next Messiah, the next one that carries all the answers to the world's problems, all the next, there's been lots of words for those things too. That when I remember there was a time last year in when I was receiving some of the information for this year, and I was like, oh my F, like, what, like, this information, it's freaking me out. And like, how, like, why me? Like, why am I carrying that information? Like, shouldn't this be like broadcast, like on, a little plane or something to everybody? And they're like, but it is, like, we are accessing different parts of a whole message. And so then the beauty, as you see, is in coming together. Because each of us, when we choose to step into circle, when we choose to step in and gather and actually share, honor that we are on equal ground, we all carry gift. We all carry gift. That then in gathering, as we move through all the shits and the fears and the giggles and get over all that stuff, right? Yeah, you're starting to get it. Aha. Yeah, is that each one of us carries an aspect of a fuller message. And that was something that gave me peace at night. And I wish and hope that for some, that may also give you some peace in knowing that we are moving into a time of whole, of more than one. More than one. And that in this first card, it's neat. I was guided to work with the Gaia Tarot. I'll list it below when I'm back into that articulating mind. And it is reversed. And as you see, like if I put this right up right away, you'd probably go like, wow, right? Like that's just like the epitome of just like connection, you know, like look at all these gorgeous, like from all the things you've learned of connecting to energy, of connecting to nature, of connecting to earth, of connecting to flame, of connecting to the elements. It's just like I'm getting some reflection. That's why I keep on moving it around. But wow, just a stunning card. 7 of earth. 7 of earth. So if I pulled this up just like so, right, it may seem very promising that yes, we are all grounded, but as you saw, right, there's something being switched right now. There's something being flipped. We've agreed for this switch. We've agreed for this turn, okay? This turn of things, this turn in time. Sorry, I'm looking at the cards now because I just realized where they're wishing me to go in this message with y'all tonight. Ooh, okay. 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 Whew. I'm going to potentially shift some layers as I allow this to flow through. And bear with me, and please even just know in my humanness, right? In my humanness and sharing of grander message, right? It's a broader message. It takes time to translate, and sometimes I might kind of lose trains of thought or so. So I always welcome after these very kind of live sessions, anything that you're chewing on or anything that you wish to add, please add. Okay. So back to, thank you, Paco. Paco comes and helps me ground with this. All right. The next card that is shared here is the emotions card. As you see, this is part of the major arcana in comparison to the minor in this tarot deck. Some of you may see quite some darkness, some beautiful dragon beings, pentacles, things covered in cloaks, right? This is quite the card. And yes, whatever is making you uncomfortable right now, that's where the work will be. Whatever is bringing up discombobulation in, right? That is where the work will be. I'm seeing almost like this. That cloak was so neat. There's this person below, right? Below this person that's sharing and holding kind of like this scepter of strength and knowing and capacity. And then this person below them also with the dragon. What like wonder of like just kind of like blocking and shielding themselves from what is being felt in, from what may have been sparked from outside. See how you are dealing with all the fires that have been sparked outside. The wars, the killings, the mass killings that are occurring in our current, the wildfires, the shifts in the nature, the shifts in the sea. There are shifts here on environmental and on human planes. Yes, you're seeing this, you're realizing this. How, right? What is being erupted in to reflect that? Are you dealing with it? Or are you still trying to work with it in a way that made you feel balanced and normal before? Please note that any message I receive, I continue to reflect and bring into my own life. That's just my life's work. Anything that I share out, I trust will ripple in 2 more times at least in this physical body and being. Yes, this is very much asking for almost the disillusions that people have placed on very immense emotions, and how to navigate those emotions, specifically ones that bring up fear and pain. And this almost, I'm getting like this trying to rise above it. And what they're kind of sharing is like, instead of trying to rise above the fear, like just like do you see how even I'm trying to like look up? So it's kind of like you're like, okay, the fear's here, the pain's here. I'm just gonna like, tilt up just a little bit. Take a nice deep breath, and like I'll be okay. Yeah, but it's already up here. Uh-oh. What happens when, right? What happens when it flows all the way, and then is all consuming? And those processes and those practices that kept you in a harmonious or equalized equilibrium, some type of balance, are just going, they're not working. So yeah, this is for all of us, the emotions that are arising in this time are very incredible healers, very incredible. They just need to be listened to, right? They just need some time with you, and they need to be witnessed. There's a lot of bearing witness to things. And if you're incapable, and I trust, because there, we all work with different things that are occurring within our body that sometimes shut us down and bring us into certain responses from events or things that kind of poke at us, right? Poke the bear, and you're like, shut down. So this is the time to kind of go, I am either going to choose to bear witness and do some of the processing outside of my body, right? Like in what is actually occurring out here to support me in slowly making my way back here. Or I'm going to bear witness and see what is disrupting or what is, right? Coming up in me, and allow the processing there, so that I can support what is shifting, support what is shifting in my body, in the realms that I am walking on, and trusting that each and every one of our movements is supporting larger workings. And those movements aren't necessarily just physical, right? We think that, right? I just keep getting with this physical thing. It's like sometimes spirit and guides who are coming in, I trust for some of you walking, you might kind of get some tones and kind of laugh and be like, that sounds like mine. Because some of them are a little funny, but they're like, you know how we count the steps? All of you with your the watches and counting, oh, I did this many steps today, I've moved. They're like, how about if you put one of those watches that count your steps, and actually, could we have one that counts the amount of movements you do per day within your mind? Yeah. No wonder some of us are exhausted. So tending to emotions, as well as tending to ensuring your mind, your territory, that domain that we yet, right, are not completely knowing that we have full consent to roam. Does that make sense? Everyone carries some consent of saying, yes, you can come in and read me if they so choose. But that, as much as some people may still be open within bodily sensation, right, and things that are arising and erupting from the earth, as you connect more so to the earth and to nature, right, you will then naturally become more in sync to the cry of the animals, the cry of the trees. Yes, you'll feel more in connection to your surroundings. And so this is to start to discover, yes, the movement between body and mind, the movement between body and mind, and how at times, right, we have been really good at making this lovely, lovely line to cut between what we are sensing and experiencing in body and what we are accommodating and moving within mind. Whew. So, and this is so beautiful. I'm seeing there's sevens galore, and some of 2023. If any of you love number codes and connections, right? There's a 7 as well. We're in a year that is sharing some things that might feel complete, but they've been turned a little, right? They've just, perspective has shifted. And some of us, sorry, they really wanted me to say some of you. Some of us, okay, fine, some of you may not be kind of like liking that, enjoying that process of being of you're like, I like my perspective. I don't want my perspective to shift anymore. I have connected to, like, I almost feel like there's so much pent up rage too in this fear. Like that's a really good, strong protector for fear, is like to say, no. Yeah. So I do feel, there's some of that just like, I don't even want to feel that, like, fuck off, motherfucker. Like this just total push of intensity, which is, yes, you can place it towards me. I'm okay with that. But to know that that is right, a something that is then arising, that is not wanting to be faced or seen, still in. And so this is not just going, what side are you on? Are you feeling? Are you gifted? Do you see what I mean? Are you aware of things? Are you conscious? Have you woken up? All of us are accessing these sensations. Every human is. Doesn't matter, right? But that some who are then curious enough to then go, maybe there's something to learn here. Look at this. 7 of earth reverse, 7 of air upright. And in something to learn here, to honor, it's like I remember when I received this card, even in my personal workings, it was like this moment of like acknowledging, like, right, our wholeness and our oneness in this moment. There's something really beautiful of that, of all the work that we have done to get here, all of the sheddings and the revealings and the unravelings and the cryings and the changes, the deep shifts and retrievals of ancestral gift, and like there's just been so much work done. I feel like such but in that completion, that feeling of completion, I've reached my knowing, like but the beauty of that process is that you still know, the one thing we still know is that there is more to be known. It's a humbling process, isn't it? And so in that, oh, mama, in that they ask, my loves, can you still look in? Can you still look into what is occurring in the relation between body and mind? It's like I'm seeing, like, do you see these masks? Right? There's like this, like, individual with this like very kind of like expanded, esoteric, big teacher person. So it's like, yes, so many of you are connected to such immense consciousness and support from the elements and support from all the, I'm just like, there's such things to be celebrated in all that you have accomplished to get here and to be here now. And so some don't want then to know that there might be more work, and to look and to face some of the things that are still so like perfectly packaged and in. So feed, it's so neat. There's this like chant of like, feed the fire, feed the flame, like feed it, feed the instead of rushing away from the anger that may be coming up in these types of like, no, and realize maybe that's just an aspect of the thing that is afraid still to unmask itself, to step out. I love that within these cycles now, you'll now that I've been online for more than 2-3 years, right? There's I can start to now see cycles. Like I'll go back and be like, oh my goodness, something that like commenced or that I started to talk about, or with in circle like 3 years ago, right, as being, has come back up, so that we can then see it in a different way. And I remember in these past 3-4 years of doing this work more publicly, something was just so lovely to kind of feel like, okay, I think we got over the death cycle now. Yeah. Like we got over we're in the rebirthing cycle. Everybody wants to be in the rebirthing cycle. And right, like life as we knew it was there, and then this cycle that we stepped into then must be the birthing cycle, rebirthing. And as someone that is well, I guess in the sun sign, right, Scorpio, who's very connected to death and rebirth and the transmutative process, hence it's my work. Don't mind me, I can you see my little Paco? There we go. He wanted to come in and add some sweetness. Because it's a big message, I know. So many times during those cycles, I just wanted to be like, yes, we're in a rebirthing cycle. There's so many times I said that, didn't I? Some of you in circles, I'd be like, yes, let's do it. Let's be out. And what is disrupting now is showing, right? We're still in this death cycle. We're still in this cycle of endings, but something has turned very recently after equinox, which also then uprooted and uplifted in turning some really horrific events in this world. To show what some of our still non-workings in things have been supporting, have allowed to continue to fester and live on this planet. I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming. Do you see what I mean? The culpability is a human experience when we are working on in the human realm. So this process of let's see. Okay, there's some specific now that we've kind of tended to that initial disruptions of things. There's some just gentle messages from this card. Okay. Trust what you are still receiving, what you are still connecting. Know that some of the people that the beings that you are connecting to are from very vast planes that have not actually been in human form. Be very aware that also some of the beings that you are channeling and connecting to also clearly come from a place of one. And in that awareness, when we then step into translating message that comes from a place that is not of duality, that is not of right? Yeah, right, wrong. Then message. Those simple message we can then almost bastardize. We can almost shift in form just by simply allowing it to move through us without it actually going all the way into the dark points of you. So yes, it is not that you are receiving non-truth. But the beauty of those messages, right, as they flow into heart and consciousness, they are asking you to remember that you here in form carry too. And so then to see that some message that may be shared from a place of union, unity, may come, right, at a place that does not actually support that message to go and to heal and to support union and actually occurring. It actually feels as if it is still one of the masks. So to also trust your many faces, on top of all of the things you receive. And that is what it means by like trust that you have traveled these planes, even if you don't believe in past life, that you have traveled these planes in different forms, be it bird, animal. And so to listen also to what you receive from them, but also to honor that those many forms are supporting you in transforming these last bits, these last little bits. They know we're tired. They know we're emotionally and energetically exhausted from all the deep work, all the deep shit that we've been moving through, all of the things, all of the effort. They feel it. I love, they kind of remind me sometimes when like I step in with like big questions and they're like, your prayers and your efforts have been noted, and it's like, noted? That's it? I have been doing and doing and doing and doing so much, and all that it is just noted. So yeah. to trust that, yes, prayer, intention, all of these things are a wondrous process to support more in that there may be some further message for some of you listening. If you are so nudged, you can connect with me more in private, not on this, not here. Simply because there are certain informations that can be shared to right? Like to one person, and they can receive it because of the workings and where they are, as we just shared. And some may receive it, and it actually could be quite disruptive and volatile. I know, more disruptive and volatile than what I've already said. So, yes. So this is, sorry, that was a little segue. An invitation that if you are ever so nudged to connect for further message, tarot, and or travels through different realms of consciousness, awareness, connection to things, you are welcome to connect with me, and we can explore together in more sacred space than here. Also, there is for travelers, for oracles, those witches, all of the words that you wish to say of those that simply see more of our experiencing. That there is an invitation for those who wish to travel this full moon, new moon, and solstice. They share that these 3 dates, and I have had received permission from also those who are in the Travelers Club to invite more of you in. So if any of those dates, I will list them below. Bring a ping, or like I meant to kind of be there or do something or travel somewhere. I was meant to travel somewhere on December 22nd, right? If that comes up, trust that that travel might not actually be on this plane, but in a different realms, right? And so I am grateful to support travelers in this lifetime. Grateful for me to have remembered some of the ways that I can support those travels. And it took some time. It took, yeah, let's just say it took some time. So there are some invitations for you. Because I'm getting that further message that will be shared here would be too specific and solely for some of you and not all. What do you say, Paco? Time for a walkie? There's the sound. May you move. May you breathe through this message. May you share what else you may have received. I would love to hear. And until we connect again, thank you. You're welcome to subscribe, to like, to do all those things that support flow of information. I think that's really what it is. It's just supporting flow of information. If you're nudged to share this to certain people, trust and just send. They will be able to turn it off if they do not like. Ooh, I receive. Thank you. Much love. Take care. May we see, they're like, prayer, Josi, it's noted. That message is complete. So I will close and walk my dog. Take care. Bye-bye.